The President of the Republic, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, has advised Ghanaians not to bring back John Dramani Mahama, saying he would run the country down. He believes Mahama and the opposition National Democratic Congress cannot continue from where he has left off, but would run the country aground when given the opportunity to steer the affairs of the country once again. He has therefore asked Ghanaians to once again reject Mahama and the NDC in the upcoming December 2024 general elections. This was when he visited the premises of the Blue Skies Limited at Dobro, near Nsawam, Aikai Dobro, near Nsawam yesterday. According to him, a vote for the former president would undermine the progress achieved during his administration and jeopardize the nation's trajectory. Took the opportunity to once again endorse Vice President Dr. Bawumia as the NPP's presidential candidate in the upcoming elections, describing him as more credible and efficient than Mahama. Well, that is what the president has said. There have been mixed reactions regarding this statement from the president in terms of the preservation of his legacy. Beatrice Annan is a private legal practitioner. She's also a member of the NDC's legal team, and she speaks for the NDC as well as part of his communications team. Beatrice, good morning. Thank you very much for your time.
Good morning, Johnny, and thank you to our cherished listeners. Okay, you also have viewers because of the Facebook.
That's
stream.
right. You have heard the President of the Republic. He says that your candidate is not fit for purpose because he will come and run everything aground and take us back 2.0. What do you say?
You see, I think that President Nana is obsessed with President John Mahama. The NPP does not have a message going into the 2024 elections. In fact, they have demonstrated that they are a crop of leaders who should be used as an example of how not to be a leader. And so going into the election, they have no message. Their international and foreign advisors are only advising that just attack President Mahama because the polls, the grounds, and many Ghanaians haven't tasted the leadership of President Mahama and that of the abysmal leadership of Nana Addo has seen that indeed you cannot by any stretch of imagination compare President Mahama to what we have today. And so I think the president is also, living in a state of self-aggrandizement. He's lost touch with reality. This is a man who wore one kambu and went to Trotro stations and went to bakers. He was eating at chore bars. And at the time he was at the Trotro station, a gallon of fuel was 14 cedis. Today it is 68.70 pesos. Is that the legacy that he's talking about? When he was visiting the people at the chore bar, a sack of maize, which was used for the banku he went to eat, was just about 120 cedis. Today we are having to buy for more than 600 cedis. When he was drinking the calipo and inviting Ghanaians to join him, at the time the calipo was 1 cedi. Today calipo is 5 cedis. So when it comes to the hardship, Johnny, this president has no legacy. The only legacy which, yes, President Mahama would destroy, those legacies he's complaining about, is the legacy of nepotism, where in our history, this president has appointed more than 51 family and friends. That legacy, yes, President Mahama would destroy it. This is a president that gave our airport at the time when we had COVID and citizens were dying, gave it to their daughter's boyfriend to run frontiers, and millions of dollars were made. And so if it has to do with the legacy of creating wealth for in-laws and family and friends, that legacy, Johnny, I can assure you the president will be right on that. President Mahama will destroy that legacy. The legacy of state capture, where PDS, AJAPA, SML deal, and many stinking deals as we are having to discuss every day has been the signature of this government, then that legacy, Johnny, I can assure you that President Mahama indeed will destroy that legacy.
Well, but you know that the president has also not so long ago said that he will not hand over to somebody that he has defeated twice. What do you say to that as well?
You know, the president, this president, Johnny, on a more serious note, when he's not scripted and he speaks, he doesn't speak presidential.
Oh.
I mean, the office of president carries a certain aura. And there is a difference between how foot soldiers sound, how even members and ministers must sound, and how a president must sound. A president must carry some aura, some grace. The president must speak to the heart of the nation and advisedly, and I use the word advisedly, speak a lot of wisdom to the people, especially in times when he's the one who has placed a moratorium on pensioners' funds. People who are his age cannot buy their diabetes drugs. So when he says that he cannot hand over to someone who has been defeated, Johnny, check the record. Nobody has been defeated in any election in Ghana than President than President Nana. From the time he started contesting his flag bearership, he was so defeated that even the last one that made him the flag bearer, Alan Sherman, had to give way because he could not secure the margin for victory. But even him, with all his abysmal performance, he was handed over to. But let me say that the president is bragging. You know, if you look at this president and the vice president, bragging is their hallmark. And so what Ghanaians did not see in 2016 were a group of people who were bragging, and then we changed it to mean these were manifesto promises. 1 million per constituency per year. We are in the 8th year. No constituency has even received $1,000 from this president. We will not have any roads apart from concrete roads. They came to say today there is no concrete roads in Ghana. Our roads are in very deplorable shape. This is the president who said that by the time I'm leaving office, there will be jobs, and jobs. Today, unemployment has doubled by 100% from 8% to 14.7%. So these people, they only brag. But let me say that it is not in the president's place to determine whether he hands over or not. Johnny, when we get to the bridge, we'll cross it. It will be to the president as if it's a nightmare. And he will hand over in the most painful manner. What didn't he do? When the NDC won the speakership position, he was not happy. But what could he do? He could do nothing. You know, they are just trying to speak to excite their base and give some MPP people false hope and all that. Johnny, they cannot do anything.
If I ask you,
hand over the country to President Mahama on 7 January 2025.
If I ask you to mention one of the legacies that the president would have, I mean, there certainly cannot be everything wrong. There has to be something, at least one that can be right. What would you say?
President Ronaldo.
Yes, please.
Okay, maybe the legacy that can be right is the fact that AJAPA could not pass through Parliament. And they don't have access to our mineral resources yet. That one we have been able to protect. Apart from that, Johnny, I don't see any. I don't see any because, Johnny, you see, this is not politics. The data the government itself is churning out in every sector of the economy, in education, in health, in employment, in standard of living, everything by their own data is showing that things are not well. The president himself, just this March, in the State of the Nation's address, admitted that our country is at a place where for 40 years we have never been. So, Johnny, this is not NDC MPP politics. This is a president who who genuinely has not paid attention to the development of the country. A legacy project is a project that has a long-lasting effect that has the potential to even outlive the lifespan of the person. And so when we are talking about legacy projects, we are talking about projects like Ridge Hospital, where today, irrespective of your political party color, you can go and have access to health care. We are talking about roads, which are major connecting routes, like the Circle Dubai, which had the potential to solve a problem. We are talking about a president who has added more than 2,500 megawatts. And this president came and was complaining about excess power. And these projects I'm mentioning to you has transcended the administration of President John Mahama. And every Ghanaian is enjoying it, Johnny, as we speak. This government does not have a single project, either by way of a regional hospital, a university, whatever it is that will transcend them. Everything has been a stopgap measure. There is no plan to have a long-term solution for Ghanaians. Everything this government will claim as doing well is something that they start, and within the administration, it even gets worse. I can give you an example. Look at the GPS, that Asase GPS that was launched. Today, who uses the Asase GPS? But 16 million cities was used on Asase GPS. That certainly cannot be a legacy project, because even under them, it is not working. Recently, the government said they went to do tap and pay and tap and go or whatever. Those
tap and go.
Tap and go. Those are their achievements, intangible things which does not directly improve the lives of the people, but which has been given a misrepresentation as something which is supposed to make the lives of people better. I have listened to Bryce Simon and a number of CSOs. These are not even government-owned properties. They are private-owned businesses that government is even hiding. So what will be the legacy of this government? A legacy must be able to transcend even the person who created it. For the 8 years, what have they done? Even their flagship project, which is the free SHS. Today, the research is showing that parents are spending more than 70% and are paying for more than 70% of the cost of the free SHS, with all its attendant effects. So even while they are in power, the IMF has called for a review. The teacher unions have called for a review.
Right.
The heads of schools have called for a review. So that cannot even be a legacy. And so if maybe somebody is even thinking about free SHS, I have demonstrated to you that that cannot even be a legacy. So the president should just stop, talking and just speaking. Maybe his handlers, we beg them, they should be scripting the president anytime he has to speak. Because when he speaks off script, it's normally a disaster, and we respect the high office that he occupies. And they should not reduce the standard. Today, the office of the vice president is synonymous to life. It will take us another 4 or 5 years to be able to restore that office to the glory. We beg the president. He has already indicated that he has checked out, and so he should enjoy the last month he has and leave the glory of the office of the president intact.
I see. Now, I'm looking at the dictionary now, and the word legacy means the long-lasting impact of particular events, actions, etc., that took place in the past or of a person's life. Do you think that the president perhaps misunderstood the word legacy, or maybe was thinking about it in another way? I don't know.
The president, Johnny, I don't think for the president. But the challenge is that, like I've told you, this president, when he's not scripted, he has a tendency of juggling English words. He has a tendency of, saying things which will later, when he's caught, he will either come out to say he was misled, or he was not privy, he will not take responsibility ultimately. And so the most important thing is for the Ghanaian people to see that we have a leader who does not appreciate our challenges, that the man is concerned about his self-aggrandizement. Because you see, if you are leading a country at the time when everybody is complaining, recently you heard Kweku Kwatan, the MPP chairman on finance, the man is not NDC. He was a former deputy minister of finance under this government. Tell you that our country is in the mess, that it will take us a long time to restore the glory. You cannot be talking about legacy. Take all the macroeconomic indicators, inflation, exchange rate, unemployment, and all other indicators. They are telling you that your country is not in a good state. Even the attempt to create employment, which was the ANAPCO, for more than 2 years, the people have not been paid. So where lies the legacy? I think that the president, maybe for his children, we can say that he's left a good legacy, because the Terminal 3, which President Mahama built, has the duty-free shop there has been given to the daughter. The daughter has been appointed as the director of, I think, the folklore or whatever, and she's also going around painting everywhere in the country. And other people in the president's family, his in-laws, including his baby mamas, have been beneficiaries. So in that regard, when you are talking about his family, he may have left a legacy for them. But for corporate Ghana, but for our collective country Ghana, Nana Addo will go down the history of this country as the worst president ever to have lived and to have governed this country. And you know, if Nana Addo had not been president, Johnny, we would not have been able to live in this country. Like my friend would say, 1 minute, we missed a golden opportunity. Had we known, Nana Addo would have been the best president. Because of his advocacies he has led in the past, this was a man who fought against VAT and rose to fame, on the background of the Kumitraku demonstration. Today, the cascading effect is that he moved VAT from the 17.5% he fought against. It was even 15% that he fought against to 22%. So what legacy is he talking about?
Okay.
The president is the worst president to have been produced. This is no partisanship. There are people in NPP who agree with you. They just don't have the courage to come and say it. So maybe next time the president should watch again and read the mood of the country before he makes, such statements.
Well, the president finally has said that you do not find anything he does nice, and he cannot hand over to a person like that. Is there any truism to that? That whatever he does, you as for you NDC people and John Mahama there, you don't find anything nice about what he has done.
So he should tell us something, because when we take his speeches, when we take the budget he presents to the country, when we take the state-owned organizations which are making profit, Johnny, it is not the NDC. The Auditor General is telling you that under this president, we move financial irregularity from a little over 700 million to, and in the time he's been president, to 45 billion. Johnny, what could be nice about if Ghana was your company and Nana Addo is making such losses under the guise of corruption? Look at the special report on the COVID-19 expenditure, which shows that this president has been the most reckless when it comes to handling the public purse. Johnny, what would be nice about that, so that the NDC would pat him in the back? Even his flagship program that he prides himself in, today children are suffering. People are drinking Milo without milk and bread. People are eating gari with palm oil. Some headmistresses and headmasters can't talk. You talk, they will sack you and things. So even that, when we have called for review, call for a stakeholder meeting. You don't, in the area of health, you had over 21 billion cities, and you don't have one chips compound to demonstrate how you utilize the money. So you tell me, devoid of partisanship, what has to be nice about Nanado's governance?
Okay. Beatrice Annan, I thank you very much indeed for your time. Private legal practitioner, member of the NDC's legal team, and also a member of the national communications team of the NDC. And it's some 34 minutes after 8 on Sunrise on 3FM 92.7. My name is Johnny Hughes. Here is President Akufo-Addo. So we contextualize the conversation. And then we will also hear a bit of what was said about Dr. Bawumia and Dr. Bawumia himself. But first, President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo of the Republic of Ghana.
The registration has started, and anyone eligible to register should go and register. Your vote determines your power in Ghana.
Now, face a brand new door. A brand new door. Yajumayano, a tia, and yet then. Onipa, Nibani the Tunu were Kognano Sono. Abi Bibia, may so any other fair.
I cannot hand over to someone I've succeeded who does not appreciate whatever I do. He will come and destroy it.
I
am pleading with you to vote for the one I have worked with for the past 7.5 years and trust that he will continue with my good words.
The friend of Muhammadu Bawumia.
That's the President of the Republic, and you had Beatrice Annan and Helen. Clearly, there are two opposing sides. Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo believes that he has done so much and that he cannot allow for another person, particularly John Mahama, to lead another pack of leaders to come and run everything aground. Well, the NDC, on the other hand, thinks that the president has already run everything aground. He has not done anything. So he should leave the scene so that they come and fix the mess that he has put out there. I mean, it's clearly the campaigns have started.
Oh, yes.
But what do you say?
So Beatrice started off her submission by saying that the president is obsessed with former President John Dramani Mahama. Right. I've seen that sentiment floating about in the atmosphere, if you will, but that's because, again, it's an election year, and of course, John Dramani Mahama is campaigning feverishly, so you expect that current president will also counter that. But according to Beatrice's submissions, there isn't much of a legacy, according to her, that the president is going to leave, that's the former president, John Dramani Mahama, is going to destroy. So, of course, I'm not surprised at all with her submissions.
The definition of legacy, for the avoidance of doubt, there are two definitions. One says, this from the Oxford English Dictionary, an amount of money or property left to someone in a will. So in a sentence, you can say that, oh, my grandmother died and unexpectedly left me a small legacy. That's an amount of money or property left to someone in a will.
Got it.
And then the second meaning of legacy from the Oxford English Dictionary says that the long-standing impact of particular events, actions, etc., that took place in the past or of a person's life. The long-lasting impact of particular events, actions, etc., that took place in the past or of a person's life. So these are the two definitions of legacy. We will. I'll come back to you, Helen, in a bit. Let me go on to the phone line and speak with the MPP's parliamentary candidate for the Adentan constituency, Akosua Menu, joining us on the phone line now. Akosua, good morning. Thank you very much for your time.
Good morning.
Great.
Good morning to you and your entire team.
Great. Now, I quickly want you to listen to what the president said so we can contextualize the conversation. Here's the president of the republic yesterday at Drobo. Aikan Doblo in the Greater Accra region near in Swam, and this is what he had to say. Listen to him, please.
The registration has started, and anyone eligible to register should go and register. Your vote determines your power in Ghana.
So wabano and a travel to me a Ghana. Now face a brand dua. A brand dua. Yajumayano a chia and yade. Onipa Nibani betunu wa Konyano sono. Abi bibia me and so enya no fe.
I cannot hand over to someone I've succeeded who does not appreciate whatever I do. He will come and destroy it. I am pleading with you to vote for the one I have worked with for the past 7.5 years and trust that he will continue with my good works.
The friend of Mahamadou Bawumia.
President Akufo-Addo there, and this is what he said. Cozy, so the NDC, in reacting to this, think that, first of all, President Akufo-Addo is obsessed with John Dramani Mahama. Is there truism to that claim?
I know it. So first of all, good morning once again to your listeners.
Great.
To say that he's obsessed with him, I feel is a non-starter. First of all, who's contesting on the ticket of the NDC? It's John Mahama. He's the one who wants to come back, despite his poor record. Now, when the president says he wants to protect his legacy, even in the translation of the audio I listened to, I wanted to quote the verbatim, but basically, he wants to protect the work he's done. What is the work he's done in terms of his policies? Free SHS. Is there a chance that free SHS can roll back or deteriorate in the unfortunate event that the NDC comes back to power? Certainly. There are 160 factories running. Hitherto, it didn't exist in those numbers in the past, especially under John Mahama. Is there a potential of that declining? Absolutely. Why? Because there is history to this. This is somebody who took a GDP from over literally 8%, I believe. No, it wasn't even 8%. He got the numbers well. It was higher under Ivan Santana, his own predecessor, who unfortunately lost his life to his benefit. And he declined it. We had agri going in the negatives, growing in the negatives. Subsequently, the person who grew agri negatively is now the general secretary of their party. So when the president says he wants to protect his legacy, it is right because it's the people he's thinking about, the people whose lives have been touched by the policies that he's rolled out. So I don't see anything wrong with what the president said. Protecting your legacy just means that you want the people that benefited from your policies to continue to do so, even when you are not the top, you are not in the top spot anymore.
The NDC thinks that you have not done anything in terms of things that have a proper impact on the people. For example, they talk about the domestic debt exchange, haircuts, they talk about businesses collapsing, they talk about delay in the payment of nursing allowance, nursing trainee allowances. They talk about the collapse of the banks. They talk about, a myriad of them. Yesterday I heard somebody talking about the La General Hospital being a legacy. They talk about the National Cathedral and so many other things. They talk about legacy of corruption, left, right, center. And that's what they say. They want to come and, correct things because you have messed things beyond repair. What do you say to that?
You see, when they say nothing has happened, some of these issues that you've highlighted, they didn't happen in a vacuum. We all know the global winds that blew and the hard decisions that we had to take. Now, if we have to speak to the data, even with them, and this is under John Dramani Mahama, GDP growth alone under NDC between 2013 and 2016 was 3.9%. For the NPP in the first term, 2017 to 2022, was 5.3%. From 2017 to, let's even look at Agric. Okay, let's look at Agric. Agric grew from 2.9%, right, in terms of growth, minus the negative impact they had, 2013 to 2016, compared to the NPP, where we grew by 6%, right? Trade deficit. If we're even going to talk about what trade imbalances and whatnot, what is the data saying? That under their watch, they had minus $2.5 billion trade deficit. Under NPP, it was a plus $1.8 billion. That's from 2017 to 2022. 1.9 billion, I believe. You can check. So we would. It's hard for me. And yesterday I heard one of their top party faithfuls on another station saying NPP hasn't done anything. No, nobody. Ask even a kid on the street, what has NPP done? And they can even tell you one policy, one overarching policy that has touched on a large percentage of the people. So when they sit there to say these things, the conversation is not about who is going to lie and sway the minds of people. The people are going to look at who has actually touched their lives.
But the people, the people are looking at the exchange rate for business people. They're looking at fuel prices. They're looking at the prices of buying food. They say like this. They say, look, in the past,
changes. There has been a decline in the exchange rate. In fact, as we speak now, it's nearing 14 cedis, I believe.
It's actually past 14 now. It's inching towards 15 for a dollar to a cedi.
We've had issues with that in the last couple of years. But despite these challenges, we are still chalking successes in other areas. Even when we talk about agri in terms of rice imports and exports, rice imports have actually reduced, usually by half, because a lot of people have gone into that space and now are exporting and also producing for local consumption. So we have challenges in a global context which we are not immune to. We've suffered it. We've turned the curve as far as COVID is concerned. Despite all these things, there are pluses in there. I'm not saying it's a perfect situation, but for them to sit there, especially to have the moral audacity to make comparisons in their tenure when they didn't have any global challenges as compared to what this regime has suffered. Seriously, it's dishonesty at the highest level. I don't think it should be entertained. But here we are, campaign season, so anybody can say what they want to say.
They also insist that, look, right from the get-go, you have not kept John Mahama's name out of your lips. I mean, the NPP and its communicators. It's always been a comparison over the past 8 years. It's always been one blame to the other over the past 8 years. And sometimes it makes it sound as if you are in power, but yet you are powerless and in opposition. Is that the case?
Who is the flag bearer of the NDC?
Well, before the electioneering period, there is a country to run. It's a government in power.
Before the electioneering period, there was still somebody who kept taking digs at the government no matter what they did. Flashback to 2020, when the government was, when the government was going into a re-election. Did we not sit down and did we not hear the NDC now claiming that they started free SHS? Their uncanny ability to rewrite history. And the fact-checking was against them, but it was, again, the bold moral audacity to lie to us in our faces that they started free SHS. Where are the numbers for their free SHS? They said, it was progressive free SHS. So why would there not be a focus on the flag bearer who doesn't actually want to discuss real issues, but wants the sound bites? Because if you now claim a certain policy which you did not start, which you did not roll out, which wasn't significant, it means you want to come into the conversation, but you don't want to come into the conversation with real facts. So he will be highlighted because till date, the decisions he took that still continues to hurt his government. It's not an obsession, it's a reality.
I see.
And that's a blame he needs to take.
My final question to you is, do you get a sense that this legacy that you so believe in and you have enumerated, according to you and the NPP, which the NDC disagrees with, is enough to win you the 2024 elections and get Dr. Bawumia elected?
Absolutely. And in 2016, we presented a manifesto to Ghanaians. And by 2020, even in your studio last week, a week or two when I was there, the conversation came up. Even with the media, some media houses gave 74% in terms of achievement of what the NPP had presented to the good people of Ghana. 74% is a good score. In 2020 to 2024, we are going to take stock of what we said we'd do and what has actually happened, putting into context the global winds that we face. The context is important.
I see.
Despite these challenges, this is what we see. And the Ghanaian is not unreasonable. The Ghanaian can sift through their life. The Ghanaian can tell who is actually good for the future. And the person good for the future of this country is Dr. Bawumia. Old solutions, futuristic, has the youth at heart and knows where Ghana should go. And that is who Ghanaians are going to vote for in December 2024. I'm confident of that.
Kozimenu, the 10 days that Herbert Krapper gave us, Deputy Minister turned board chair of ECG, for our power outages has come and gone. Legacy?
This is a question for Herbert Krapper.
It's not for you, but you came here and assured us that you have
Absolutely.
faith in Herbert Krapper.
So on the timelines he gave us, you would admit that there has been literally a massive decline in the problems that we're facing. There are still pockets of some areas where people are still complaining of certain challenges. You take my constituency, for example, because of the Dodora Road, there have been realignment of the electricity poles from one side of the road to the other, and even pushing it back further. Because of that, power is interrupted for that exercise to go on. That is literally what we call a localized fault. But there are still some areas experiencing challenges. I think it was 2 days after that deadline had been given, we had a shortfall of gas due to a problem in Nigeria. It was almost 260 megawatts or so, I recall. And that was a conversation I had the privilege of having with him. So those issues are not local. It's supply, technical issues, technical faults can happen, can impact the supply and distribution of it. That's by and large what we experienced in
But
March.
that was not the promise, Kosi. The promise was that in 10 days it will go. And the president even announced on the 1st of May that we will not return to that era. And then 4 days later, the Electoral Commission says that we are providing generators. The whole makes me think that Herbert Krapper just had to say something that I give you 10 days and this will be over.
Absolutely not. He was confident of what was informed. They had the numbers and everything. Like I said, we also take gas supply from from Nigeria. If there's a challenge there, even if I kept a promise, I think it's fair to redefine the parameters of the promise, given that it's a technical issue beyond our means to solve.
We should redefine the promise. Okay, I hear you. Because I wish you all the best in Adenta.
Don't use that because I'm just saying that there was a problem that came about, which was different from what we were facing here. Nobody saw that coming, so it happens. So I think we can make room for that. But it's been resolved. I have power now. There's power in the office, and it's not as bad as it used to be. I think we can acknowledge that fact.
I see. How's the registration going on in Adenta, by the way?
Oh, the first day was phenomenal. It was pretty good, yes, and I hope it continues this way.
Are the young people coming out to register in your constituency?
Yes, they are. And then I have an engagement with them, and it's interesting the perceptions they have. It's actually good data to have in terms of what they know and what they feel and what we can do better.
I thank you very much for your time. Akosia Menu is the NPP's parliamentary candidate for the Adentan constituency in the Greater Accra region. Grateful to have spoken to you. Go on to the phone line, now another phone line, and speak with Dr. Rashid Tanko. He's a computer deputy. Dr. Rashid Tanko, computer. Computer is part of the name, like Seydou Fita. Okay, so Deputy Director of Elections of the NDC. Doc, good morning, and thank you very much for your time.
Good morning, my brother. How are you?
I'm fine. Doc, why do they call you computer?
Well, it's my name. It's just like others haven't bright. Some call patient, some call love. All manner of things. That's my name.
I see. So your father's surname is computer?
That is it.
I see. Rashid computer.
If you take my Ghana card, my passport, everything computer. If you don't put it in there, you butcher my name.
I see. Dr. Tanko Rashid computer.
Very well.
You're a big man. I see. Doc, let's begin the conversation. I mean, give me an overview of what you saw and experienced yesterday across the country when the Electoral Commission decided to start the registration process for those who are now eligible to vote and for those who could not get their names in the register. What did you find?
Let me say, one of the most shambolic registration exercises we've ever witnessed is this one. I don't know what is wrong with this current Electoral Commissioner. They appear not to be ready with their assignment, and they seem not to understand what they are up to. They have been given enough time to plan for this registration exercise. And they've been given all their budgetary needs for the registration. And I'm surprised what happened yesterday. You are using equipment that you have not tested. You have not looked at them to be sure whether they are robust, they can stand the test of time. You deploy equipment without codes. Equipments were in the districts without codes. Some equipment straight to other regions. You have Eastern region equipment found its way in Western North, some in Central region. What is it?
The Electoral Commission wrote a statement yesterday and said that, look, they have identified the initial hiccups and that they are working at it and everything will run smoothly. That should be some form of assurance for you, no?
You take assurance from this current Electoral Commission, then you prepare your own coffin. What didn't she tell you people, the media, at a press conference on Monday? Look at the assurances she gave Ghanaians. She was so elated and was talking as if we are going to have the smoothest of registration without any difficulties and whatever. Less than 24 hours. What happened? I think I will always take the pinch of salt, the kind of assurances coming from Electoral Commission. This Electoral Commission are not to be trusted. They say one thing publicly and do different things behind the scenes. So, as for the assurances, my brother, never take them with their words. Until you see it practically being demonstrated. My brother, don't take the words of the Electoral Commission. Because these commissioners, they have shown enough incompetence that you don't need to take any assurances from them.
Are your members going out there to register? Your members who just turned 18 and those who couldn't get their names in the register, do you know if they are going out there to register?
Of course. We have prompted them to go out. And we are bringing them out to make sure that they go and register. Because we need to arrest this country. The decay in this country needs to be arrested by December. And the only way we can arrest the soul of our democracy is to vote. And your name must appear in the register. Then we have to make sure that their future is properly secured. And they can only do that through voting. So we are encouraging them to register. And they are out there. And lots of them came out to register yesterday. But only to be frustrated by the Electoral Commission.
Well,
but they are not learning. They are coming out today again.
I see. Governor Kwame Agboja is on the leadership bench of your side in Parliament. Yesterday, he put out a tweet, and I want to quickly find it and share with you, expressing his frustration about the registration process in the Volta region. This is what he put out there. He says, it's 9:18 at Adaklu currently. I notice this shutdown is across the Volta region. Not a single person has been registered. Once again, the EC has failed to live up to expectations. The registration platform of EC is not working. I don't think it's about internet connectivity. This is the leader of your party or your side in Parliament. and he's a member of parliament as well, saying these things, don't you think that it will whip up the wrong sentiments against the Electoral Commission, especially from your stronghold, the Volta region?
Look, he was perfectly right. Perfectly right. Do you know that a lot of districts could not even register one soul yesterday? I can count you not less than 20 districts that could not register. Look, even in your those, I try here, they couldn't register even one person the whole of yesterday.
3FM.
So is that internet connectivity? Is that internet connectivity? What are they talking about? It was not about internet connectivity. It's just that they were just incompetent, and they were out to make sure that they suppress the voter register, make sure that people don't register. That is their aim. That is what they were just looking out for. Because I don't understand. If you deploy machines and you don't send codes to the people who are going to operate them, what was the reason for that? Is that internet connectivity? What has internet connectivity got to do with codes? Was it internet connectivity that made them to send Eastern region DVRs to Western North? What kind of? That's why I say don't take them serious when they write their statement out there. The Electoral Commission, practically, it was just they were just out to frustrate it. That is their intention, and we are not going to accept it. We have already indicated it to them. Look, if they don't up their game, they will have to contain it because this will work.
I don't understand. Contain you how?
Well, there are several ways of killing a cat. Several ways of doing that. We will buzz the people and send them to the Electoral Commission office at the national one. So you should register them over there.
You have about 21 days. Yesterday is just 1 day out of the 21. So can we say early days yet, or this is unforgivable?
I am saying that these people have started on a wrong foot, and we are not going to allow them. They have been doing this kind of thing. You remember 2023, they did a similar thing. They did similar thing, and they got away with it. And now they started again with this kind of shambolic attitude of them. And we are not going to, look, we want Ghanaians to come along with it, because this kind of thing we were not going to accept. And that is why we are making sure that we are bringing it up publicly so that people will get to know the attitude of this Electoral Commission. Because this kind of thing is highly unacceptable. You have been given your budgetary needs, you have enough time to plan, and yet you are giving us raw deal. What does that mean? Right now, people's heads start rolling over there. Where nothing happens.
Whose head do you want to roll? That of Jean Mensah, Asare Bosman, or Tete Sribo Kweku?
Who are the commissioners? Who are in charge? Why are they giving us raw deal?
3FM 92.7.
That's the question we are asking. Why are they giving Ghanaians raw deal? Is it the punishment for you to go and register? Why are they doing this to Ghanaians? These are the questions we are asking. They must come clean.
But my brother, so
yes,
the NDC has not had a very smooth relationship with the Electoral Commission. The relationship has been frosty because at every turn you seem to question what the Electoral Commission is doing, and you're raising the red flags that you think exist to tell everybody that something is not right. But what collaborative efforts are we also putting in place to make sure that the Electoral Commission is able to function optimally? What do you advise?
They are not listening. When we go to IPA, we'll tell them all the necessary things they need to know, they need to do to make sure that we perfect our electoral system. They won't listen. You tell them all these things. We've been in this business before them. All the commissioners there, we've been in this electoral business long since before some of them were appointed to that place. So when we are telling them, we tell them from experience.
I hear you. Dr. Tanko Rashid Computer is the Deputy National Elections Director of the NDC, and he joined us here on Sunrise on 3FM 92.7. We'll take a break. Or return from the break, I'll share with you something that elder statesman, member of the Council of State, lawyer Sam Okujeto, has been speaking on the Cecilia Abinadapa matter that they Office of the Special Prosecutor, the Attorney General, the Police CID, and we even had to bring FBI in, and they all are playing Kwani Kwani, Moni Moni. We'll see you shortly after the break.
Hi, Dad.